episode of Becoming Her. This week, we're talking about pruning, about how sometimes in the midst of becoming her, you may think that everything is spotless. And then, whether you believe in the universe, God, just life in general, likes to bring up some things. And it's not to punish you, it's just to make sure you already, you know how when you level up and it's like you think that you're done with something, but sometimes they throw it back from level 2, you're at level 50, right? And they'll bring back something that you like went over and you defeated in level 2, just to make sure you still got it, just to make sure you still can defeat it, you know. And I feel like sometimes that's what pruning is. You may really think that, hey, I went over this, I'm healed from this, I got this, and then it comes back, and you thought that you really had overcame that, and now you're like, whoa, I guess there is some things I'm still working on. So I feel like I'm in a very different space recording this episode today than I was weeks ago. I had went through something that really was able to bring up some things that I thought I had grew from, and that were still hurtful to me, still affected me. And I thought I was way past that. And I learned that now I really, what surprisingly I learned is that I really have grown. I wasn't emotional. I didn't react emotionally. I wasn't reactive. I just took time to sit back and understand what was going on, which, even though I really did feel the raw emotions in that moment of what was going on, seeing how I was able to dissect it and understand it and deal with it really taught me that there was growth. Even through the hurt, there was growth. And I think that's important to say, because growth doesn't always look loud, it doesn't always look clear. Sometimes it's a lot more intricate than you might understand. So sometimes it looks like somewhat of a clarity, but not quite, you know? So we're going to talk about all of that today. It's going to be a little deep. I'm going to let y'all into some tea. I'm going to let y'all know what I'm talking about, what hurt me. I'm going to let y'all know about the wound. All right, come on in. Oh, and yes, I got a new hairstyle. Oh, and I want to apologize. This episode is a few days late. I think it's 2 days late. And the reason for that is I was really living my life, right? Which I will go into on where the pain and the hurt came from. Um, and then the emotions were so raw that I felt like, oh, if I pick up my camera and I'm talking to you guys, would it be off of being vulnerable and raw, or would it just be me being emotional and not, and being reactive and not really actually feeling through what I'm feeling, not even completely understanding what I'm feeling? So I had to sit with my feelings. I had to force myself to sit and wait, really feel it out properly, because I could have gave y'all this video yesterday. It wasn't like I was doing anything, but I was just so sensitive. I was so raw yesterday that I feel like if I did come out here and say something, I might say something that I never can take back. And that is a very big lesson for some of y'all. Sometimes it's not about saying it as soon as you feel it and you think, oh, I'm so real, I'm so whatever, I'm just too real. Sometimes you're thinking you're too real, but what it really is it's immature. And I don't want to say that to be rude. I'm not trying to comfort your neck or nothing, but a lot of the emotions that you let out, of like other people let out, you're letting them out prematurely. And you're letting them come out before you understand what's going on, before you understand your feelings, before you understand the whole situation, before you really understand what you're feeling in that moment. You're letting your premature feelings come out, and there's things that you just can't take away, which I had to sit with, understand what's going on, understand how I feel, understand what my goals are in life. I remember we spoke about values. Remember what my values are, and then readjust my mindset to those, because those are my genuine feelings. And now I'm here with y'all today. Let's get into the video. So, um, this past weekend, my sister did something very amazing, and she threw me this pickleball event. right? It comes into the hurt. I'm going to explain it as fast and as cutthroat as possible. So as I've always grown up, I've never thrown myself like an actual birthday party. I've always been extremely scared of rejection, always felt like an outsider, never quite fit in, never was like that popular. So I always just was weird. Like it was like I didn't fit the mold ever. And I always found it hard to make friendships and stuff like that. So I just never had a party. I just always felt like people would not come. And I grew out of that. At least I thought, you know what? I thought I grew out of that. Let's readjust our words. And I grew up, and I was telling my sister about this event I wanted to do. I was like, I love pickleball. I love pink. I would like to do this pickle and pink event, where girls come in pink outfits and they play pickleball. And my sister was like, yeah, that's an amazing event. Yeah, I love that. And then she comes up to me maybe a few weeks later and she's like, hey, where's the update on the pickle and pink event? And I said, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna do it. It seems like nobody wants to do it. Every time I bring up pickleball, every time I talk about pickleball, people just don't want to do it. So I don't think I'm gonna do this event no more. My sister's like, I think you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone. You need to go ahead and do it. You seem like this is something that you really, really are passionate about. I think you should still go forth with it. I'm like, nah. So then my sister, she's also, I feel like God sometimes brings people into your life to push you out of your comfort zone. Because mind you, this is something I would have never done by myself. I would have never put myself in this position to be rejected because I'm so scared of rejection. And I thought that part of me had disappeared. I thought I was past that. I've been doing so many uncomfortable, hard things lately that I thought that part that was scared of being rejected in that way was gone. I've been going to social groups and going out and being active and talking to people that I usually would not talk to and doing things that I usually would not do. So I thought a part of that was gone, but it was more avoidance. I was avoiding that part. I purposely wasn't making events. I purposely wasn't throwing a party. So I purposely was only doing things that would only require 2 or 3 people to be invited because I already knew who my core was. So that was avoidance. Um, so to wrap this up, basically what ended up happening is my sister surprised me for my birthday coming up soon, and she threw the pickle and pink event as a surprise. She put it in the social group chat that we have, and she invited these girls. There's at least about, it says a whole of over 100 people in the group chat, but the core of the group chat is about maybe like 20 to 30, including me and my sister. And we get along really well with those girls, especially me. I get along really well with them. We're on name basis. Like we see each other almost every weekend. So my sister invited the girls from the group chat. My sister not only invited the girls from the group chat to surprise me, but she reminded them at least 3 to 4 times about the event and told them to RSVP. The only people that came were the ones that she invited personally, but the from the actual core group chat, zero. And a part of me felt so embarrassed and hurt and rejected because I felt like I gave genuine energy. Like I'm always talking to these girls and they didn't show up for me. And that hurt my feelings. That really hurt my feelings. And to y'all might be like, Raina, that's trivial. So what, they didn't come. But imagine your sister making goodie bags, buying a whole bunch of pink rackets, pink hats, everybody buying me pink outfit, really putting time, pink energy drinks, pink, about to do like pink labeled water bottles, everything pink, 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 you know, just for, I think it was 6 of us there. And the people that mostly came were my actual core friends, not from the group. So hurt my feelings. It really did. It really did. It really did. And it honestly embarrassed me. So I had to sit with these feelings and I had to notice, like, Raina, you know why this hurts so much? This reminds you of when you were little and you were in school and you were constantly putting yourself out there and being rejected. And I guess a part of me thought that part of me had disappeared and I had grew from it. And obviously I didn't. I was just avoiding it at all costs. And I had to sit with myself and really sit and go over what had happened that day, because obviously I wasn't the one that invited them, but they did not come. And I had to tell myself, well, what does this mean? Like, what does this situation mean? Like, I have to understand it. If you asked me yesterday, I would have been like, oh, some people don't care about you. Some people don't want you to win. Some people, some people are jealous, like say all this stuff that is just ridiculous. I had to sit with it and say, I need to stop putting it in their court and understand what it's saying about me from my court. And what it said for me from my court is, girl, you still have a sensitive spot. This is something you still need to heal from. And the only way to heal from things is to get uncomfortable. So guess what? In the future, I'm going to have to do that same event again. This is how we grow. Yes, is it a nightmare? Does it make me scared? Does it make me uncomfortable? Yeah, it's not fun, baby. But am I going to do it again because I understand that this is a soft spot? This is what needs to be strengthened. This is what needs to grow. This is where I need to build an impact. Yes, because that showed me where I was vulnerable, where I still needed to build my roots in. So I'm going to do it again. Not because I want to, because right now I don't, but because I now understand that this is a place of growth that I still haven't touched. And I feel like sometimes during pruning, while you're becoming her, while you are growing, while you're trying to get to the next step, sometimes life will throw at you things that you thought you grew from and give you painful things. And it's how you get to the next step past that. How are you going to grow from that? How are you going to digest that? How are you going to understand that? How are you going to be able to get the lesson in that? Those girls, they probably did not mean to hurt me. They probably just were just not into pickleball. Some of them probably had stuff to do that weekend. Some of them probably just didn't and just wanted a weekend to stay home. And that is not their fault. Nobody owes me anything, maybe other than my core group of girls, which did show up for me. And did I have an amazing time at the event? Yeah, we had a great time. Everybody at that event said, we need to do this again. When's the next time we're doing it? And I'm like, hold up. But now I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we gonna do that again. Yeah. But everybody that was there had a ball. We had so much fun, to the point where they were asking, well, where are we going after this? Because they did not want the day to end. They had so much fun. And they asked me, we got to do this again. So I had a great time introducing to the people who love and care about me something that I love and care about. But you have to remember that it's not punishment, it's pruning. I think sometimes life brings up situations that makes us uncomfortable, but not to hurt us, but to reveal what still needs healing. There were feelings that came up that I genuinely thought that were gone, feelings I haven't faced in a long time, and it surprised me. But instead of spiraling, I realized maybe this wasn't going to, I wasn't going to go backwards, basically. This was about seeing how I handled it now, in this space that I'm in now. If you ask me how I'm handling it now, I still love them girls. They just need some extra love. And you know what? That's not for them. That's for me. I want to be a part of a social group, and it's not no pick me type of stuff. It's not for them. It's for me. I need to go somewhere every weekend and have a great time and not be stuck in the house. And just because they didn't come to my event doesn't mean that I am gonna not go to the social group and stay home every single weekend. Boo, boring. I'm still gonna go. I'm still gonna have a good time. I'm still gonna enjoy myself. I'm still gonna talk to the girls, And it's not for them, it's for me. It's because I want a good time. And now if they have an event, will I go? Questionable. But I still want to love on them. I still want to give them great energy. They still congratulated me on all my accolades. They still give me great energy through the phone and in person when they do see me. And I'm just not going to let that affect me or take it too personally. I'm going to move on with my life for me, not for them, but for me. I want to have a great time. I want to have a ball every single day, right? For me to even be worried about making sure I continue a vendetta, making sure I stay angry, making sure I'm only will affect me. It's not really affecting them. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to live in anger. So I'm not doing that. I'm still going to go to that social club. I'm still going to have a great time. I'm still going to see which events I want to go to and pull up to those events. I'm not going to let that affect me in any type of way. Um, I think part of becoming her is understanding that uncomfortability is not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's usually a sign that you're doing something right. And I feel like a part of becoming her is facing your uncomfortabilities, taking them head on, saying, this makes me uncomfortable. I want to understand why. How do I make that stop? And the only way to make something uncomfortable stop being uncomfortable is continue jamming through it. Y'all don't go where my mind just went. Don't go there. But you know what I mean. Okay? So you just got to keep going through it until it's no longer uncomfortable to you. That's an unhealed spot that you just found. You need to be able to build up some tough skin there. So that's a part of becoming her. Going through those hard moments, going through those unhealed spots, and actually working on healing it. What work are you going to do to fix that? What work are you going to make it so that it's no longer uncomfortable to you, so that you can be in these situations and have to go through those things and not feel nothing? I can tell you, for me, for where I feel like my trajectory of life is going to, I'm going to have to be in a lot of places where things are going to have to just fall off of me, where people may say things, feel things, not show up to things, and I have to just keep it pushing. It can't be nothing that I have to hold on to or think about for days and days to come. I have to keep going because I feel like there is so much things that God is about to do in my life that is going to feel like there's a whirlwind that has already started lately, and I can't be focused on small things. Another thing I want to touch on for you guys is, if you're trying to level up to here, which is not being egoistic, it's just doing the work that most people will not do to get to here. You're doing the hard work to get to the next level. If you're doing the hard work to get to the next level, why are you so worried about people who are at this level? And that's not saying they're beneath you in that way, like you're better than them. No, it's you're trying to do the hard work that they are not willing to do, right? You're doing the uncomfortable things that they're not willing to do. So if we're talking about people that are comfortable where they're at, they're stagnant, and you're trying to grow, why are you worried about a person that's not growing? You're trying to get here. You're trying to level up. You're trying to do better for yourself. You're trying to get to the next level, right? So why are you worried about people who are just, I don't want to say they're passing in your life, your scheme of life, but they are, you know, it's just like you're trying to do other things, and some of them will come with you, some of them will not. Sometimes this is just a way to understand who is. For me, this made me understand who my core group was. My core group is the people that showed up for me. And sometimes you need to be able to see that. Sometimes God shows you who is there for you in the most uncomfortable ways. And I feel like that was in an uncomfortable way, but it really made me understand, like, no, these are the girls who will fix your hair, make sure not a tear falls out of your eyes. They never will talk behind your back. My core group is a solid, genuine core group. They won't talk behind my back. They'll fix my hair. They won't let no tears come from me. They'll make sure I'm safe. If somebody's around me and they're trying to hurt me, like emotionally, physically, anything, they will make sure they're there by my side, almost like a fortress around me. A lot of people don't have that. And I feel like God did his big one and showed me at this next level that I'm going to, who are the ones that were always by my side, who are the ones that get to be with me in that next season. that I can trust. Because you remember how like celebrities, they become famous and they're like, oh, I don't know who to trust. I don't know who to hang around with. I don't know who really has good intentions or whatever. And it's probably because they didn't get a chance to figure out who their core was. God, in the most uncomfortable way, pruned and showed me who my core was. So sometimes it's not about punishment, it's sometimes about revelation. It's about understanding what this uncomfortable season, what this uncomfortable moment is trying to show you right now. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I went way off of script, way off of script, but I could see the time. We're already a little bit past what our podcast time is supposed to be. So I think this is just going to need a part two. And you guys will see that next week, probably this week, since, I was late with this episode. So, with that being said, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Look out for part two because it really will be coming. And yeah, make sure you're walking in love and make sure you're living for you. What's going to make you happy, even if it means you don't hold grudges. Okay? Because I think that was big in this episode. I'm not holding those grudges. I'm going to love them girls down. Whether they want me to or not. All right, y'all. Bye.